I graduated from high school. I went to Santa Margarita Private School, which is a really tough school and very strict. But I graduated, got good grades. I wanted to party. All my friends were going to the rave, Electric Daisy Carnival, and I went. It's the first time they did a 2-day rave, and I took ecstasy. I ended up overdosing on the dance floor, and I was carried out up the Coliseum stairs and rushed to the hospital. I was being resuscitated for 2 hours, and from there I found a 2-month coma. I had 4 strokes. I had complete organ and respiratory failure. I would cough up black stuff. My mom was by my side every day, and I died 3 times. When I woke up from my coma, it was August. I had no idea why I was there. All my friends were going off to college, and I still thought I was going to see Barber where I was supposed to go, but no. I was still able to understand what was going on, but I was unable to speak or move, so I felt like I was trapped in my lifeless body. And from there, I was transported from Los Angeles Hospital to Mission Hospital. I was there for about 2 months, and they weren't able to get me out of the wheelchair. So I was transported from there to CNS in Bakersfield, where I went to a live-in rehab center where I really learned to walk and talk again. But everyone there was paraplegics, had some sort of brain injury. They were unable to talk, came out of their backs, like out of the wheelchairs. It was probably the scariest thing I've ever witnessed because I'm very sheltered. And I not only hurt myself, but I hurt my loved ones. My younger brother had a major problem when this happened. We're very close, so he thought I was going to die, and he would text my mom like every day, hey, like, is Aisha going to live? And my mom would just think, I have no idea. So when I came home, he was a little better, but then about 2 weeks later, his best friend, Mark McQueen, died from an overdose. So he completely checked out of school, and he didn't have friends, he like shut down. So he had to go to continuation school and finish out a year there. He's back at Daniels High School, gonna graduate, he's doing better. But the pain I put him through was worse than what I had to go through. And my mom still has post-traumatic stress. It's gonna be 3 years in June, but she still has flashbacks of me in a coma in the hospital, of my fingers with like only my skin and bones she would feel. And I know everyone like comes up here and says like don't do drugs, like it's bad. And everyone's like, yeah, I know, like don't do drugs. But you're gonna be faced with them, which I'm sure you probably are now. High school is probably the biggest time where you're not faced with drugs. And I just want you to actually listen to the people on the film, listen to what I have to say, listen to them, and just really think before you decide to take a drug or experience something. Just stay true to yourself, because in college, no one cares who you were in high school. No one cares if you were a cheerleader, if you were on band, if you weren't cool, if you were cool. No one cares. You can reinvent yourself. So if someone is making you feel bad for not doing drugs right now, just feel like, you know, it's my choice. I'm going places. No, that's all I have to say.
Jake, recovering addict. Let's see, I look around, you guys are all high schoolers. You know, man, I had a great high school. You know, I played sports. You know, I started surfing, started getting picked up by sponsors. You know, and then I went to Dana Hills in 2005. I was a junior when I started getting called Dana Hills. And I kind of got messed up in that era. I went from popping a couple Norcos to popping, you know, Xanax here and there at a dance. Nothing too big, nothing too fancy. But you get trapped. You get trapped into this kind of lifestyle. And what I gotta say is, you know, you guys are all young. You guys have so much potential. You know, I had expectations. I graduated with a 3.8. I went to Australia for 4 months after high school to go surf, and I came back, touched one pill, the drug that they do talk about, Overtaken, and I was hooked, completely hooked. It took me one time and I was completely hooked. That one pill, I remember the day, it was 2 years ago. You know, that one pill completely hooked, and I had to do it every day since. You know, I currently do only have about 5 months of recovery, but you know what? These past 5 months have been better than any day that I was getting high. I hit a lot, I isolated who I was. I did drugs to socialize. I did drugs to try to pick up on girls. I did drugs to just live. I hated being sober for some reason. But, you know, I got to the point I thought doing drugs was freedom. I thought it was being rebellious against my parents because they always told me not to. But until he turned on me, I became a slave. Every day I had to wake up and put something in my body. Every day I had to wake up at 7 in the morning to, you know, do my drug of choice. I'd wake up, imagine jumping in a shower and then jumping right into your bed. That's how much sweat you would wake up when you get dope sick. And you know what? It started, you know, my story was exactly like this in the movie. It started with, you know, a couple pills, weed, alcohol, and then you move on to the harder stuff. You know, my gateway was alcohol, definitely. It moved me on to the harder stuff. And Overtaken, as you can see in the movie, is synthetic heroin. And coming off of that is not the best thing in the world, I'll tell you that. I mean, I laid in bed for 14 days, staring at the window, wondering if I wanted to jump or not. It was a painful experience. You know, it comes with a lot. I hurt my family, I manipulated them. And that's for, you know, your parents out there. You know, I'm a total, I'll say this, I'm a total mama's boy. I'm a total mama's boy, and I love her to death. And you know, I manipulated her. She believed me. She loved me. I didn't graduate high school to become a drug addict. You know, she didn't want to believe that. And you know what? It breaks my heart that I did. But you know, there's a solution. So it's like, it took me a while to ask for help. You know, I have a twin brother. He was the first person I told that I had a problem. And he wrote me a letter. He was at UC Santa Cruz at the time, and I was living at home, getting high, of course, in my room with my parents in the other room. He wrote me a letter. I just turned 25 a month ago. He just wrote me a letter that, you know, if I don't stop, then he doesn't want to stand over me when I'm 25 years old. You know, and that just shows how much your parents love you guys, for all you kids, you know. That shows, you know, the unconditional love that they have for you. And they don't want to see you go down this path. I had every for me out of high school. And curiosity got the best of me. But you know what? One day, it was a long day, you know, I stuck out my hand for help. And if you guys do know anyone, you know anyone, or you are one, or whatever, just ask for help. It's not hard. It's not that hard. You know, I absolutely fell in love with Jodi. She's my guardian angel. You know, when I quit this drug, I really had nothing to look forward to. And then I watched this DVD and it kind of saved my life. This isn't a commercial, it's just, you know, the DARE commercials that just say no. It's about knowledge. It's about knowing what's going in your body. Because I should have died millions of times. Millions of times I should have died. But luckily, you know, God bless, I'm still here. So there is a solution, and that is just to ask for help. And for you parents, just, you know, just try to gain knowledge from this video. Try to gain knowledge from the internet. I mean, the internet's everywhere. Yeah, that's really all I got to say.
My name is Michael Finch, and I have done this kind of tell my whole story. But actually, I was talking to Jodi before we started, and I said, you know, if you ever take this to Costa Mesa High School, you know, make sure I go on, because that was the school I went to. And that school was immense. You know, when I went to that school, sure enough, yeah, it hit me in high school. And it does. That's when, you know, you're not feeling a part of, and you do anything to feel a part of. And even back then, back in the ancient days, when I was in high school, you know, I found where the drugs were. And I suddenly felt a part of it. And yes, it started with pot. And I did it hard, I did it heavy right away, right in high school. And I love what you said, after high school, college doesn't care what you did in high school, because that's when it really, really took me down. And unfortunately, it took me down several different paths, legally and all sorts of things, separated from my family, and ended up living in a garage, and finally got clean and sober, and I've been clean and sober for 25 years now. So the second half of my life, I've been blessed with the opportunity of working in the field of addiction. Since 1990, I started working in the field of addiction on the front lines. And let me tell you, the assessments I've done in the 20-something years, every time, 95% of the time, people started using pot when they were 13, 14, 15, 16, right around that time. So high school is an important, influential time. And what I always tell parents is, know what your kids are doing, get involved with your child, show some interest, know who you're hanging out with, and try to get them really interested in those healthy activities, because it's really easy to swear away. I remember in high school, I would come home, my parents had no idea what I was doing. I would come home and I'd go in my room, close the door, and I would leave the house. They had no idea where I was going. They were good parents, it's not their fault, you know? But these days, there's more opportunity to be educated, there's more opportunity to be involved, and I really, really encourage parents to get involved. And as you saw there, it is more destructive these days than it is back when I was doing it. Thank God it wasn't as bad then. I'd be dead. You didn't hear about all the overdoses back when I was, in high school. Now it's all over the place. I hear about it all the time. And I get tearful when I hear about it, and I get tearful when I see people like these two in recovery. Those are tears of joy. The ones that live. Like Tom, the other counselor on the video, mentioned, we see people that have made it in treatment, get to treatment. There's a lot of people that don't. I just got a call on my way here from a mom who's desperate. Her son, 20 years old, has been addicted to heroin for the last couple of years. She doesn't know what to do. And I said, bring him in, we'll meet with him, whatever. If you don't know what to do, get on the internet. Like Jake said, get on the internet and check it out. Make some inquiries. There's people out there, myself included, that will meet with you and assess what's going on, be with your child, whatever, and if we can't help you, there's all sorts of places that can. There's referrals out there. Again, I get really cheerful when I see people get to the other side and get in recovery. Yes, ideally, it'd be great if you don't start. I was checking out the internet, checking out the website Huntington Beach High earlier because I was like to know where I'm going. And I saw there were like 6,000 students here, which means there's about 12,000 parents. And I don't see 6,000 students and 12,000 parents in here, so it's a small percentage in here. So, you know, let your friends know, let your neighbors know. Like Jodi mentioned, where a lot of these kids are getting their pills are from their parents, from their friends' grandparents. You know, checking out the medicine cabinet the moment they get over there, going to the bathroom. You know, so lock up those pills if you have to take them yourself. So, anyway, I just wanted to kind of introduce myself. If you have any questions, we have time. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.